Welcome back. Ben Mankiewicz, Eddie Muller here. So that was Al Lettieri, the assassin, who's very clearly a very skilled assassin, right? But run down on the beach by a truck that can't have been going more than 20 miles an hour. He had to see it coming, shoot through the windows, for the love of God. Seemed like an assassin could have taken care of those guys.
But that ended up being the poster image for the film.
Oh, really?
That must have been what they were thinking. Like, this is clearly what Mike Hodges loves about this type of story.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the protagonist doesn't have the slightest idea what's going on. And honestly, he doesn't really care.
Right.
Right? He just wants to get his money and get out.
Right.
But he can't help but follow the clues. And the clues in this case lead to an actual crime that Hodges learned about that is for real. I mean, it was a woman named Wilma Montesi, who was found dead, and she was believed to have been raped by these guys, and the trail led back up into the upper reaches of the parliament, I think, in Italy. And it was quite a scandal that lasted for years in the 1950s. And this is where he got the germ of the idea for what it was that Preston Gilbert knew about, you know.
It did not feel like the kind of movie that was based on a true story.
Exactly.
In our introduction to the film, I mentioned a little bit of that, the Elizabeth Scott's line with Kane at the beginning. What's it like to be the wife of a politician, kissing babies and all that? I don't stop at babies. But she also, I mean, that whole scene was so great. Right? What skills do you need to be a princess? Only one. I'm good in bed.
I'm good in bed.
Yeah. I mean, and then the Mae West. Why don't you come up to my castle sometime?
Yes,
I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Mike Hodges, she was incredibly nervous doing this, and that was the first scene she shot. And she hadn't been in front of a camera in 15 years. And Michael Caine,
why did she stop? I mean, she was like mid-30s, right?
Well, you know, she was the victim of a big scandal in Hollywood in the 1950s, where Confidential magazine sort of outed her as being, you know, one of the lavender lovelies and a preference for the baritone babes, as Confidential magazine would say. And it just kind of scared her out of the business. It was no fun any longer. Anyway, so when she returned, Michael Caine, who had seen her movies and knew who she was kind of shocked at how nervous she was. She had to hold up her wine glass, and she was like shaking. Yeah. And they all kind of helped talk her down. And she's really good in the film. You know, she's Liz Scott in the movie. As Mickey Rooney is Mickey Rooney.
That's right,
in this movie. And Mike Hodges also tells about how difficult that was, because the very first scene he shot was that really complicated party scene out on the wharf, you know. And Rooney just immediately went into his shtick and literally did that routine with the waiter spilling the wine and all that on unsuspecting people who were there. Right. I mean, he thought it was a riot and really funny. It's a tough character that he plays in this, you know, and he relished it. But watching it today, it's really uncomfortable. I mean, that's not really funny stuff.
No. So, I mean, but that I think was what made it a good scene, is his character, right, believing that this was, just a great bit. And then so many people, you know, standing up and, you know, for he's a jolly good fellow. There's so many, the indulgence of fans. And then you have Caine sort of representing, for the lack of a better term, normal people who would think, what are you doing? This is not fun. It's just rude, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good scene. I thought it was a really good scene. I thought Rooney was great to be, but it's uncomfortable, no question.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad we got to show Pulp.
Yeah.
And coming up next, we have really a great noir film from 1981, featuring Kathleen Turner as one of the great femme fatales of all time. It is Body Heat.